Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hard Park 703 channel. So I've got some pretty awesome stuff that's finally going to go onto the vehicle. I've had it for a long time. I'm talking about like pretty much almost a year. It's just I was piecing it together little by little. Is that a lie? No, that's accurate, but I think it's more accurate to say that a lot of things, I wanted to get a lot of things done to the vehicle first before I ended up doing this. But anyways, finally we're getting to it and stuff like that. So what's everything? All right, so we've got new intake, throttle body, and then pulleys. So upper and lower pulley, and then the super damper that goes along with the lower pulley, and then crankshaft, bolt, all the, yeah, whatever, miscellaneous stuff. But yeah, so let's dive right into it. I'm thinking, is there any point in showing you the pulleys right now? I'll just show you the pulleys when they're installed. I mean, they look like pulleys. I mean, I can only talk about them so much in my hand and stuff, you know? So I'll show you that once that's installed, but let me show you the intake. This intake is insane, all right? It's from Roto-Fab, so let's do it. All right, so this thing is massive. You guys, massive is still like an understatement. Okay, so get off. It's 5 inches in diameter. So this thing is huge. I don't even know how to, like, I can barely hold this thing with one hand. Like literally, I can barely hold this thing with one hand. I can't even grip it, man. It does have kind of a really nice like shiny coating on it and stuff like that, so it's not helping, but this thing is massive, okay? The intake I currently have on my Z06 is 4 inches, and that's from Haltech. This is the Roto-Fab 5-inch big gulp. And this thing is engineered so beautifully, like the mold and everything. It's perfection inside and out. I don't know. Can you get some lighting up in there and stuff like that? Well, anyways, it's really smooth. It's awesome. Yeah. So it's overwhelming how big the intake is going to be. Let me show you the next. The reason why it fascinates me is because of the fact that I remember back in the day, I used to see like all these Hondas with, I guess I never really learned the real term. I know they were carbon Kevlar. It was when, what was it? That wasn't P tuning. It's Password JDM. Password JDM had them, I guess. And they were called like whale penis intakes. And so like they were massive, and then they would like pinch down. And so I guess that was the nickname for it. But this thing doesn't pinch down, and this thing makes those old school or the whale penises that I used to see on Honda Civics look really small. So I don't even know what the hell to call this thing. It's like I don't know, it would make Johnny Sins and Mandingo proud, I know that. But yeah, this thing is, should there be a big difference between my 4-inch penis, my 4-inch intake, and then going to this 5-inch intake? I can only assume it's probably going to it should make a really big difference. And then hopefully some sound too. You guys know I'm really big about sound. But anyway, let me show you the filter section. All right, so it'll mate up to right here, right? So I've got a little tag still on it, so that's what this is for. And then, yeah, it's got couplers and stuff like that. So it's really, really nice. The intake is massive. I've still got it wrapped up, but it's a massive intake. So, and then there, that's really nice to have right there. I love that. Roto-Fab already has their engraving right there. Aluminum, I guess, like really nice, nicely powder coated aluminum right here. Then this whole thing is plastic. So yeah, so this thing is awesome. And it came really nicely packaged. It came with the instructions, came with all the accessories and everything like that. And, you know, just perfectly all like just securely packaged and stuff. And I really love that. No scratches, nothing like that. What you're going to notice right now is like this gold tape, right? So let me get in box for that matter. Okay, so the gold tape that I was talking about, it's that reflective, like it reflects the heat. So you get a roll of it. I already used like half the roll, but I got a lot of it. I think it was like 30 feet. I think it was like 25 feet, 25, 30 feet, something like that. Yeah, I was going to say, am I lying? And it was 15 feet, but no, I'm pretty sure it was 30 feet. But, okay, so I tried this out with I tried this out actually on the Haltech. It's on the Haltech intake, and the reason being is because I saw videos on it, and I saw the difference between they would show the intake temperature without it on, and then the intake temperature with it wrapped, and they would hit a thermometer, a laser thermometer on it, and it significantly brought air temperatures down because of the fact that you wrap it out, you wrap it around the piping, and it reflects all the heat from the engine bay, right, back into the engine bay. It doesn't allow it to penetrate the piping, tubing, whatever you want to call it. And so for that matter, obviously you always want to, to make the most amount of power, you need, you need to keep sucking in, obviously, cold, dense air, and you want that. Sorry, meeting popped up. Yes, I'm logged in, but okay. So anyways, cold, dense air, right? And you want that to get fed all the way into your engine bay, right? And so, well, it's going to start heating up, well, depending on how long your intake is, right? And so you want to cover as much of it as possible. And so it made a big difference. That if you're pushing your car, it's probably going to make more of a difference. I really don't push my car that much. So a lot of things, I've learned a lot of things that I bought are overkill in my sense because, or for my personal situation, because of the fact of the way I drive my vehicle. But I mean, if you guys drive it harder, as you should, obviously you should drive a Corvette pretty hard and stuff like that, but it's sad that I don't. It'll make more of a difference, but just knowing that the principle is there, like it actually works and stuff like that, I ended up buying it. Don't buy cheap eBay ones, because you can just look at the reviews and people will be like, this is garbage, I tested it out, and they'll even have videos of it. So I went with Ryan Star or something like that. Anyways, it was highly recommended. They had a whole bunch of reviews on it and stuff like that, and it actually made a difference. Also, the other thing is, it's actually really sticky. The one that I bought like 2 years ago, I would say 2 years ago, for my Haltech, it barely stuck to the plastic at all. So for that matter, I'm kind of bummed out about that. So this one definitely sticks to the metal. I would say it doesn't stick to the plastic. I tried wrapping this, and it just wasn't sticking to it. It does have a coating on it, so I mean, you'd probably have to sand it down and everything for it to stick. So at least it's plastic and it's not aluminum, right? Because the metal will heat up more. So I did wrap it, obviously, right here around. So where I'm filming from, right? If my camera is on top of the supercharger and the engine, you would say, right? And then, passenger side headlight there, driver side headlight here and stuff like, so front of the vehicle's right there. The intake obviously sits over on this side, and then it gets routed right here towards the camera. So yeah, okay, I didn't get to wrap this, but at least I wrapped like where the actual filter is. I tried to wrap it as much as possible. I'm not good by any means, and now that I'm filming, I realize I should have just done strips across this so I wouldn't leave the edges exposed, but it is what it is, all right? I wasn't planning on this was kind of a last minute thing because I got to take this car in today, and so I was like, oh man, let me do this so then that way they don't have to do it and stuff, So what I tried to do is I tried to wrap this edge that's going to be closest to the engine, so then that way it reflects some of that heat, So that's why I kind of left this, I completely left this side open because that's where the headlight is. So, I mean, the engine bay heat is going to kind of creep from the bottom and kind of towards there, and then obviously all over here. So, this, I wanted to use it, all right? I bought the tape, like, I don't know, like 8 months ago or something like that. Not 8 months ago. All right. That's excessive. Like, let's say 6 months ago or whatever. But you can't return it and stuff. And I might as well use it. So even if it doesn't make that big of a difference, at least I tried. Right. Install the Roto-Fab. The 5-inch Roto-Fab is going to be connected to Solar Performance 107 millimeter throttle body. Okay, so we're going for big power gains, and then the supercharger is being sent out to Kong Performance. I actually spoke to Greg. He's the owner of Kong Performance. Spoke to him the other day over the phone. Super cool guy, by the way. Really knows his stuff. And so he was like, if you're going with the setup that you're talking about, you definitely want the export. So keep that in mind too. So if you guys are going for maximum numbers, get the export. If you're just trying to do like one small thing to the car, something like that, then go ahead and just, I guess you could do regular porting or whatever. But I've seen, if you type in export on YouTube, like Corvette export and stuff, it's crazy. Like all the videos that are out there and stuff like that, and it shows you the number differences and on what vehicles it's on and stuff. And so, I mean, I'm really excited for that. So the porting service is going to be awesome. So he's going to port the supercharger and the snout. Greg is actually doing me the favor of pressing on my upper pulley, which I'm very thankful for. Greg, if you watch the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So the upper pulley is from ZPE. Then the lower pulley is from DSX Tuning. It's their own. And then it's the ATI super damper. And then the Roto-Fab intake. So yeah, all these things are going to go on. Then I'm gonna have to get tuned after that, but we'll do the tuning video after as its own video and stuff like that. So right now I just wanted to cover the intake. Like I said, I'll talk more in depth on the pulleys, like once they're installed and stuff like that, and yeah, so I gotta get to the shop right now because I gotta drop this stuff off, and I don't even know if the intake box is gonna fit in the Corvette. So I might have to rush there and then come right back home and then take the Corvette there before they close and stuff. So it's first world problems, I know. All right, so everything's loaded in the car. I actually wanted to show you the throttle body. It's a really, really nice throttle body. It's from Solar Performance, but yeah, let me delve into all that and stuff, and then I'll explain exactly why I wanted to. All right, so I got out a couple pieces already, but okay, and there we are. Look at that. 107 Solar Performance. Take it out nice and easy. Stuck? Oh, okay. It's taped. All right. So this thing is massive. This thing is massive. You can choose if you want it engraved or if you just want it like that. I literally told them over the phone, I was like, look, whatever you have in stock, pretty much just send that. I don't care. Nobody's going to see this. It's awesome. It looks beautiful and everything. Sad part is obviously your intake's right here, so you're never going to see that opening and closing, But yeah, bolts right up to your Z06 supercharger. And yeah, that's really nice on the back too. Sorry, I was kind of zoning out. But yeah, okay, so what does it come with? Okay, so it comes with a gasket, right? And then I'm trying to remember what they said on the phone. Okay, so considering I have the 5-inch intake, and this is 100 and... Yeah, so it's 107 millimeters, but I think it's like tapered down to 103. So this is 107. Hold on. No, the whole thing is 107. Oh, I'm so confused. Okay. They said something about like, okay, so if you're running the stock blower with no porting and stuff like that, you're supposed to use one of these pieces. I don't know if this is an adapter. I would assume this is the adapter. This is really small. Yeah, that's really small compared to this. Yeah, this is massive for my hand. That's really small. Okay, so I would assume this is the snout right here on your stock supercharger without it being ported. And then the outside diameter right here, you can see that it's tapered, right? So you see how it's tapered. So this would be, I guess, 107, and then tapers down to 87 millimeters, which is a huge difference, obviously, right? So you're gonna, what a waste for that matter, right? And like you're sucking in all that air, but then you don't even have that good of an opening. Okay, so I don't think I'll be using that then, obviously, if it's gonna be complete ported. But this, I'm just putting my hand here. I know this is not a good way of measuring, but putting my hand here, and that is the exact same size as this. Okay, so this gasket just goes with this piece. So you're just gonna get the supercharger back. We'll put it on and everything like that. The snout will be ported. You will put the gasket on there, and then you will put this right on top of that, and you've got beautiful flow from there, and then the intake should match right up, and then this thing will be unused. So, okay, cool. All right, I'm glad I figured this out while I was talking to you guys. Like I've always said, I learn as I go. So, cool. All right, that's really cool that they include all that stuff, so then that way, you know, in case you ever sell it to somebody or whatever like that, I guess it can work. It'll work for their 87 millimeter supercharger. So, because right now the throttle body that I have, the 87 millimeter throttle body that they have on their stock supercharger, because the throttle body that I have right now, actual ZR1 throttle body, which mates up perfectly to the 87 millimeter snout. It's a 95 millimeter throttle body, and that's what the ZR1 comes with, as opposed to the 87 for the Z06. And so that didn't require any tuning modifications or anything like that. But when you go this big, from 87 millimeters to 107, that's going to definitely require tuning. So yeah, all this stuff will be installed, and then I will do the tuning video again afterwards. It won't be a big video. I mean, I'll just be showing, I guess, the runs like last time, right? And then I'll show the printout, so we can see how much my vehicle is making currently compared to what it'll be making, you know? So then that way we'll see if there really was a big increase with the intake, the throttle body, and the pulleys. So yeah, am I missing anything? I'm just trying to think. I just want to make sure I film everything. We're good. We're good. Okay, I'll pick up the video. I'll pick it up at some point. So I'm not used to driving this vehicle at night, as I've said multiple times, and it's like almost 6 p.m. and stuff, so obviously the sun's setting right now. I'm currently in Virginia. Problem is, this vehicle sits so low right now, it's like everyone's high beaming me, but nobody's high beaming me. It's just I'm blind. I can't even see the license plate basically in front of me, because all the lights are at my eye level or higher. So like the person behind me, I kept thinking they were driving with their high beams on right now and stuff. And they weren't, because I was like, why isn't my rear view mirror switching, you know? And so then like all the vehicles coming towards me and stuff is the same situation, and I'm like, wow, like this sucks. So another reason why I don't want to drive at night anymore in this vehicle, or for that matter, just don't drive ever in this vehicle. It's not like I just discovered another reason why I don't want to drive this vehicle at night, and that was a cop, and I just put the phone down. All right, good. Right? What are the odds? What are the odds? It's like someone telling me, like, stop doing this. You just get to the shop. But anyways, all right, I can film this while I'm at the shop, or I can just film this right now. I'm paying attention. There's no vehicles in front of me, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, the vehicle sits so low that it looks like everyone is high beaming you. So all the vehicles coming my way, I keep thinking they're all with their high beams, and then the vehicles behind me, same thing. But I was wondering why my rear view mirror wasn't adjusting itself, because it has that option and stuff. And so it just turns out, like, when I was turning and the vehicle passed me, it didn't have its high beams on. So yeah, that really sucks when you're in a lowered vehicle. I haven't been in a lowered vehicle in a long time, I guess, since the Mini Cooper, I guess. And the Mini Cooper wasn't even low, so I never had that issue with it. But now this one, like third time driving at night and stuff, and now I really noticed, excuse me, this sucks. So yeah, I can't like even make out the license plate in front of me, for that matter, because of the fact that I'm blinded. All right, that was my story. I'll see you guys later. All right, what's up, everybody? I'm back. It's been like a month since I've seen my car, or basically since the very last couple seconds of video that you've seen or whatever. It's been a month in between. So I'm super excited to see my car. I haven't seen it. I miss it and stuff. I heard it's been on the rack for so long for one reason or another. You know, we've had to do a bunch of like modifications to it and stuff. We had to send things out. We had to wait for parts and stuff like that. Actually, a part that we had to wait for, I didn't know. So this is what happens when you got to take everything with a grain of salt when you read stuff on the forums, right? And so on the forums, a lot of people were saying like, hey, if you're going to do this size for the upper pulley and lower pulley when you're upgrading the supercharger for the Z06, you can reuse the stock belt. And so I was like, oh, hey, yeah, I don't need to order a belt because you can use the stock one. Well, I guess that was wrong. So we had to wait for a belt. And so coincidentally, on the day that I surprised them and dropped by, because also work's been insane. Work has been absolutely insane. I don't even want to do cybersecurity anymore, you guys. It's been just like, all right, I'll just say it's been a nightmare. But anyways, the reason why I say that is because of the fact that I used to be able to get out of work early sometimes, right? Or like, remember I used to joke around in my videos and be like, yo, I should be at work, like doing something or whatever. Yeah, there's no time to breathe anymore. Like, I don't even leave my office at home. I'm working as soon as I wake up till like 5:30 or 6 sometimes. Like, it's just so much overtime. It's insane. Okay, so I haven't been able to just come and hang out or do anything. So today it's what's today? President's Day, I think. Yeah, today's the 20th of February. Okay, 20th of February. And so I've got the holiday today, Monday, so I was like, yo, I'm going to see if they're open. If they're open, I'm just going to go say what's up, catch up, go finally see the car and stuff. And so that's where we're at. But coincidentally, the belt arrived that they ordered. And so like I signed for it and everything. And so now I'm going to drop it off to Darren, who's working on my car. But yeah, I just want to see, I miss her so much. Yeah. So let me show you these other cool cars that are right here. That is awesome. Tell me if that isn't awesome. Wow. Looks so good. That looks equally as good. Wow. That is super nice. And then across there we got some more. That looks awesome. Ah, there she is. There's my baby. Ah. Poor thing's just been chilling. Oh, I can't wait to get this thing on the road. Okay, so old intake is off. Makes sense, obviously, it's because they gotta get access to the lower pulley and everything and stuff, and you gotta put the belt on and stuff. But yeah, so this is gonna go for sale. This is gonna go up for sale. I'll probably just use the local Facebook like marketplace and stuff, so then that way someone can just pick it up real quick. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, it's fully sealed, it's flawless, so like there's no dust on this thing or anything. So whoever's watching this, if you guys want to buy it, just reach out to me like on Instagram or my Facebook and stuff. I would much rather deal with like local people, but no worries, I'll ship it if I have to. This is relatively small. The exhaust was like another issue because that would have been a really big box. But yeah, so I mean, everything's flawless, you guys. Like I maintain this thing really well. But anyways, I'm not gonna try to sell it. But yeah, so this is the old Haltech, I guess like 4 inches or whatever, and now like the other big one, like I showed you guys, is in there, the 5-inch. So yeah, all right. I was gonna try to get a shot from the very top, but I don't want to move it. Down here, I'm still debating whether or not, like, if I want to keep this just for looks, or if I want to actually do a legit functional, splitter on the front, right? Because we could do that. The only thing is, now that I'm learning about aero, is the fact that I'm very transparent with you guys. So I tell you when I learn something new, right? And so, like rolling shots of vehicles, right? You're like, yo, why does it look lower? Why does the vehicle look lower than when it's standing still, like in the shot? And so, like, I'd always hear the term like, well, it's under load. And I was like, what does that mean? I was like, so the suspension is somehow different or whatever, or like when it's moving. I guess it's not so much that, it's the fact that obviously since you're moving and you're creating downforce, there's a lot of pressure being put on the top of your hood and stuff, and so your vehicle, as it's moving and the faster it's moving, it's going to be being pushed down more towards the ground, right? So no wonder, like when I'm driving around and stuff like that, like there's absolutely no wheel gap. Because it's already creating so much downforce on the front, and that's just with this. That's just with the little small splitter right here, and like the shape of the lip and everything, and like the design of all of it. If I get an entire splitter, I think my wheels are too aggressive, because I went more for looks than for like function, you would say. It's going to be too aggressive, and it's just going to break the side spats, the spats that are on the edge and stuff like that, and it's gonna just dig right into the fender, because it'll be yanking that car down if I do a full-on splitter, like a race splitter, because it's gonna catch all that air and it's just gonna suction it down. So I don't know. I think right now I think I'm better off with it, like all the air coming in and then escaping through here right now. Especially if it's just for looks. I mean, I'm not I'm not going to the track or anything, as you guys know. But it's just, that's a side thought. I just wanted to mention that right now while we have a view of the bottom of the vehicle and stuff, you know. Let's go to the back. Let me take a look at a couple things. So yeah, guys. All right. So the other things I wanted in the rear was I wanted this side pulled down a little bit, so then that way it was more symmetrical with this side. So then that way it wouldn't be right up against the paint. And so it looks like that's already been taken care of. This side was pushed up much more than this side. So like this was like bent up, this one was further down. And so now we have much more of a clean gap all the way around. And then the tips also were kind of uneven, like they were further out, some were further out than the others. And so now we've got them a lot more flush. So that's awesome. I'm so happy. I know that stuff is trivial, and I 100% agree. Like, you should worry about the vehicle running and performing beautifully and stuff like that and correctly. But I just, like, I look at my vehicle so much, I just always want it to be presentable on the outsides, you know? I take pride in cleaning up the car all the time and stuff, you know? And that's just me personally, you know? Some people don't really care for this stuff, especially if it's their legit track car. They're like, all right, look, as long as everything isn't broken and stuff, I'm good to go. But, you know, since I take it to shows and everything, I just want everything to be, like, you know, just looking symmetrical all the time and just looking... I just love the color of the piping once it gets all hot, and, you know, and it turns into that, like, burnt bronze type color. Man, I don't really ever get too many opportunities to see underneath the vehicle, so that's why I film it every time it's, like, on here. So, wow. This thing it looks so good. And then the clearance, like, check out the clearance right here. That is perfection. Like, it doesn't hit it or anything. Wow. And then obviously the headers. Look at that. Wow. Oh, this thing's so nice. Just the whole bottom of the vehicle, I love this car. Yeah, all he's got to do is then just put on the new intake once the belt goes on and everything. And we should be good to go. So then a couple days, I guess they'll give me a call, maybe tomorrow or whatever. So I got to also schedule, I guess at this point, maybe see what the schedule is like for more automotive, so then that way I can get my car tuned. And then we'll go from there. So I'll probably pick up the video, and then I'll probably wrap it up once I pick up the car. And then I'll do another separate video for the tune. So then that way, you know, I break it up a little bit. But yeah, all right. So it's Tuesday the 21st of February, and yeah. So I think I'm going to pick up the car right now. I say that because with all the new upgrades that just got done to it, the car's bucking pretty significantly. And so for that matter, Galen thought it'd be a good idea for me to come and drive it around, like the parking lot and the side streets right there by the shop, see if I can manage that. The fact that he called me to ask me that, it's probably a good, like, good situation there happening with, like, that bucking and stuff like that, you know. So we'll see. He said if I don't feel confident with it, then I mean we could just get it towed, either to the, you know, like to my house, or I guess just more automotive. So we'll see. And then also, I also want to check out a couple of other things, because they wanted to see if I was seeing the same things with the diffuser and the exhaust, like how I wanted them, like, adjusted a little bit. So my old wheels are still here. They didn't have anybody who wanted to buy them, so I'm gonna put them up for sale. So I'm gonna take some shots of that real quick, and then we'll get into everything that's going on with the car. I just realized this works out beautifully, because now I have a meeting location for, like, if I do sell the wheels locally, then we can meet up here, you know, and they can take a look and everything, and they can ask all their questions and everything. And I took pictures, made sure to take pictures of the tread life. I don't care. They're probably going to want to swap out the tires anyways, since they're probably not going to want to run the exact setup that I have. But if not, you know, just in case, I took pictures of the tread life, which is, all the tires have plenty of tread left. And then, you know, took pictures to show that none of the wheels have any issues with them or anything, you know, because obviously they were on the vehicle for only so long. So yeah, hopefully that goes through. That'll be awesome. That'll help me offset what I just paid for all this beauty. Okay, so the other thing is, I'm telling you guys, I'm not losing my mind, but apparently nobody touched the exhaust and nobody touched the diffuser. I even asked Darren straight up, I was like, did you adjust the diffuser and the exhaust how I requested and asked? He was like, dude, I didn't even touch it. So I'm telling you right now, I don't know, maybe the diffuser, like maybe with like the temperature differences of hot and cold days, maybe it's like flexed out. But I'm telling you, this thing right here was pushed up against this. You can even see like where it's all nicked and everything, because this thing was completely up against this compared to that other side, and that has more of a gap. And so now the gaps are even. So I'm happy. I don't care if it flexed out on its own, fantastic. If someone fixed it and didn't admit to it, I thank you so much. The exhaust also, it's adjusted more than what it was before, so I can't say it's all in my head, and if it's in my head, then that does mean I'm crazy, but yeah, right, with regards to the drivability, I literally just took it around the block, and I accelerated at normal, like traffic speed, you know, and was driving normally. I wasn't driving like extra slow or anything, and the vehicle, not one jerk, not one buck, nothing. It drives like as if I had never done anything to the vehicle in the first place. So that's awesome. Everyone's weirded out by that because I mentioned that to Galen and Darren and everybody, and they were like, what? But okay, you know, like hopefully I don't jinx myself, fingers crossed, you know. Yeah, I would say then I'm safe to drive it home right now. And then also I'll be safe to drive it to More Automotive whenever I get my appointment scheduled. So I just turned the vehicle on. The supercharger whine is so much louder. Like just me driving it just for a minute, the whine is significantly like different. I had the windows up and everything. I didn't have music on or anything, but I never remember hearing it that pronounced. So I guess I'll film. I could film it now, or I could film it like after it gets tuned. Regardless, I'll film it at some point when I'm filming inside the vehicle while driving, and then that way you guys could hear it, because I know you picked up the supercharger whine before in videos, so this time it should be even easier to pick up. So yeah, all right. Well, anyways, gonna head home. Vehicle sounds normal, you know, like the exhaust isn't significantly louder. It's not even louder. I don't even think this exhaust is louder at all, to be honest with you. Maybe after it gets tuned again, or for that matter, retuned, maybe it'll get louder, but it sounds great. Everything sounds good right now. No issues. So, you know, just want to get home safely and everything. With the windows down, I take back what I said about the exhaust. Either I haven't driven the car in a month and I forgot how loud the exhaust is, or the exhaust is significantly louder right now. So I'm thinking the exhaust got even louder. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. All right, when I come to a stop and then we accelerate, I'll see if I can pick up the supercharger whine. See if it comes out right now. Cruising at highway speed, and I'm not supposed to be in boost, so I'm not going to push it. So I just need to cruise home because obviously it's untuned right now. But I'm coming up to another light, so we'll give it a go again. All right, let's try it. You guys should definitely be hearing that because I can hear it clearly right now. Yeah, all right, so once I get going, you don't hear it too much because the exhaust overpowers it, but from the get-go, at least it picks up nicely. All right, so definitely I hear the exhaust. All right, so the whine I think came out, but anyways, what I was saying about the exhaust was I can hear it, like, obviously it's breathing like incorrectly, right? Like it's struggling to breathe. You can hear it kind of like almost like choking a little bit. It's not bogging me down or anything, but it definitely is not running as smooth as it was before. So now I notice it more than ever. But yeah, so anyways, that's why I said stay at a boost. I just realized I said struggling to breathe. It's clearly not struggling to breathe, considering I just did all the upgrades for it to breathe even better. What I meant was the fact that obviously the air-fuel ratio is off, right? So it's sucking in way too much excess air right now and doesn't know what to do with it probably. So that's what I'm guessing. I'm sorry for the incorrect stick. Home. We'll talk about it in a second. I want to show you something really cool right now. Just wait. So check this out. This has never happened before, ever. Like, if you see what I'm seeing, like in the sky, it's like 2 planets above the moon right now. And that's awesome. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? I know this isn't car related, but I'm just saying this fascinates me. I've never seen anything like this. That is so cool. Wow. All right. Back to car stuff. So something I noticed, and it's probably gonna bother me eventually. It is the fact that now I've got drone with my mufflers and everything. Because I guess no matter what, now that I've opened her up significantly, right? So like it's got tons of air that's rushing in, right? And now the exhaust is fully unrestricted and stuff. So now everything's kind of evenly matched up front and in the rear. The drone went up big time. Like before I had a little bit of drone, but it wasn't anything that would bother you. And so you could be cruising around at like 1500, between 1500 and like 1800 RPM. So it's between 1500 and 1800 RPMs. And that's right where the automatic transmission likes to chill when you're just cruising at traffic speed. The speed of traffic, whatever, you get what I'm saying. And yeah, it's louder. It's a lot louder. Like it's a humming now. So that was a little irritating. You do get out of it very quickly though. So it's not that much of a bother, but it is very much noted. So with that being said, I do have something that I'm gonna do to combat that. So I still haven't installed that, so we're gonna get into that later. Let me cover a couple extra things. I want to give a quick shout out to Greg over at Kong Performance for the supercharger porting. I didn't get to see the inside of the supercharger, so I was like, oh man, like I really wanted to film that. But everybody at the shop was just blown away. They were like, dude, that is a big difference. So I'm so happy. And I could hear the difference, obviously. I told you guys like the supercharger's that much louder. But it's the little things that count to me, right? And so I had messaged Greg, hey man, could I have 2 decals, preferably white, so then that way I can represent your company, you know? I've got an idea of where I want to put them and stuff. And so he sent me 2 of them. And so Greg, thank you so much. Like, that's awesome. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to put this on the car. It's funny, I always get excited for like the small things. Like you could have just given me like the Ferrari or whatever, but as long as I got like a cool hat that came with the Ferrari, I would love the hat more. So, but yeah, all right. So Greg, thank you so much, man. You're gonna see this video. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna post it up and everything. Yeah. Let's open up the hood and let's see what's underneath. So I had dinner real quick. But anyways, all right. So now pop the hood open. It is so hot under there. The car's been off for a good bit. I guess I don't normally open the hood and stuff to feel under there, but top of the supercharger is still pretty warm. I thought it was going to already be really cooled off. But like, look, the other thing is, look how dark it is. So I can't really show you guys all the detail and stuff. I've got my light. We'll see what it looks like, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to pull the car out on another sunny day. So I'm not going to wrap up the video right here. I'd rather do that when like tons of sunlight's filling up the engine bay and stuff, so then that way we can look at all the nice, like in HD, we can see like all the parts. But right now, while I've got you guys here, I'm thinking I'm going to put the Kong Performance decal, not on right now because it's too hot, but I want to show you where I want to put it. I was going to cut this into 2, and then I was going to kind of put it at an angle, like right here. So it's going to be like Kong right there, and then Performance right underneath it, like right? But then I was like, you know what? This thing's solid, so like I could just put it kind of like right there, and then just have it so then that way it looks real clean, like it'll just be like nice and centered. Oh yeah, that's already getting. Oh, that's getting really hot. Like nice and centered right there. So I think that'll flow beautifully. So yeah, all right. I'm excited to do that. I just can't do that right now. It's too hot. All right, let's try to use my light to take a look. I'm gonna try to angle the light a little bit further away. There's the 107 millimeter. Look at that thing. 107 millimeter solar performance throttle body. That thing looks massive right there. You guys, like, this thing is massive. It is huge. Wow. And then that's mated to, look at the size of the intake. Look at that thing. The thing is so huge. It's like an anaconda. Like, wow, it's insane. All right, I'm gonna go around the other side. Look at that. The size of that filter is absurdly huge. It's really nice how it says Roto-Fab right there. And what I love about it is, all right, how can I, all right, let's drop this light. Okay, we'll put the light like that. Let's stand. Okay, that's cool. Okay, yeah. Nice seal right here and right here. Why do I say that? Okay, obviously this seal is going to be great because it's going to push up against the, well, hopefully pushes up against the hood, so then that way it creates like a barrier, right? But this one's really important right here because you're always going to have a gap when you close the hood, right? So you're going to have a gap like right here between the hood and the fender, and so water's going to trickle down in there, right? So water trickles down here and then it runs off and whatnot, you know, and it runs down here. This is a pretty significant barrier right here. It's pretty tall. I'd say probably at least a centimeter. And so that's going to keep the water, at least from, it'll trickle down here and it'll go down that way as opposed to all just splashing all over the filter. That's what I was really worried about, that the filter was just going to soak up all the water from the pressure washer that I'm using and stuff, you know? So that's fantastic. And then, like, I'm like literally right here next to the wall, so I can barely move. But yeah, and then you can see obviously like the gold tape, the reflective tape that I was applying for like the heat reflection, you know? So, but yeah, that I'm telling you, that intake is massive. But yeah, so intake, then the throttle body, and then the, all right, let's move on to the pulleys. I mean, you can see the top, you can see this top pulley right here. So that's really cool, right? So you can see it right there. And then the bottom one is right down there. See that one from DSX Tuning. So yeah, see, you can see that. That's a pretty good shot of it, right? Let's see, DSX, yeah. Yeah, see, you can see the name. All right. Let me focus on that. Yeah, all right, that's what's up. So yeah, the lighting is just, it is what it is right now. It's not matching my level of excitement for that matter, you know? So I don't want to try to like wrap things up right now and stuff, you know? That was not a really good view of everything. So let me just get the vehicle out there on a sunny day. And then that way we can delve right into it and stuff, you know? Because I want to do the parts justice, you know? Like I wasn't able to zoom in on them as much as I want to. Finally, a nice and bright sunny day. So reverse the car. So now we can get a much better look at the engine bay. So let's dive right into it. All right, so check it out. That looks so much nicer in the sun. Got a nice flake to it. Roto-Fab for the win. Those are massive right there. Those the filters that they use are just absolutely massive. Like this just doesn't, my hand just, it doesn't do it. The proportions don't do it justice. But let me go around. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. See if I can see it. Yeah, see, so goes all the way in there. See, so that's a massive filter. And then you can see the rest of the box, right? It's the thickness of this thing is insane. It is absolutely insane. I know the video, like, I'm telling you right now, the video just doesn't do it justice, okay? Like, trust me, this thing's massive. But all right, moving on to the next part. Upgraded the pulleys, like I said, so let's take a better look at that. So there you go. That is the ZPE Griptec 2.175 pulley, and so it mounts up to its to their hub, and then down there. Can I get down there? Can I get down there? Can I get down there? Let me see. Let's see if we can get down there. Does that show anything? Can I get a good shot of the DSX tuning? Probably not. Probably not. Okay, well, not from this angle. But anyways, yeah, upgraded lower pulley as well. Crank pulley. So, yeah. Oh, there you go. See? Yeah. DSX tuning. There you go. There you go. That's what's up. See? Wanted to give him a shout out. All right. We are going to talk about this in a little bit. Just hold on. All right, so now, let's take a look at the... Look, I'm telling you right now, this throttle body is absurdly huge. It is insanely huge. Solar performance, 107 millimeter. Effective 107 millimeter. It mates up to 103 millimeter opening, but it's 107 millimeter ported out. So that's awesome, right? But yeah, mates up really nicely. No issues mating to the Roto-Fab intake. So that's something nice to know. Right there, bolted up just fine. All right, moving on to the last part. Obviously, the last part is the porting of the supercharger that Greg did at Kong Performance. Sadly, I can't see it, or I can't show it to you guys because I wasn't there at the shop when they got it back. Like I said, everyone said it was gorgeous. I just noticed something scraped the gorgeous face right there. It's all right, though. The entirety of that beauty still comes out. So, considering I cannot show you of what Greg did, I figured I'll take the opportunity to just at least put the decal right there. That's going to be the highlight of my day right now because I can't drive this car, obviously, until it gets tuned. So at least I'm going to entertain myself by putting the decal there, and then that way we'll get a nice, good shot of it. So that's what we're going to do. But before I do that, let's see if there's a size difference between the 95 millimeter ZR1 GM throttle body and then this Solar Performance one. Yeah, you can definitely tell there's a lot more body on that one compared to the 95 millimeter. This is the actual GM one. So I'm gonna sell this one. So if anyone's interested, look for my post because I have no need for it anymore. So yeah, it's 95 and it'll bolt up to the 87 millimeter snout. And you can use the smaller intakes and everything to it. I've got an adapter as well. So anyways, that's a side note. But yeah, this thing is like where the coupler would go. Like obviously it's like right there. So there's just so much more body, even there where the inscription is for solar and stuff like that. It's so much thicker than this one. So I know it's not a really good angle, but I'm just saying this thing is massive compared to this. So jumping from a 95 millimeter ZR1 throttle body to this one right here, it's a big jump. So what do you guys think? Looks pretty good, huh? I kind of screwed up the lining it up, but I mean, come on, I was a little rushed, so it's all right. It's slightly off. Like you can tell that it's bigger here than it is over here, like the gap or whatever, right? So it's kind of like going this way as opposed to going straight across, but whatever. I mean, it's close enough. People get the point, right? I'm representing Kong Performance. That's the point. So, Greg, I hope you like it, man. So it's not too bad. I can live with that. I stopped caring about like perfection when it came to decals like a little while ago. Because like I say, as long as the vehicle is running perfectly and everything, I mean, this is the last thing on my mind, but it'll probably start bothering me after a while. We'll see. So the point of this was to show that Kong Performance has had their hands on some part of this vehicle, right? So, all right, mission accomplished. I noticed something else, though, while I was putting the decal on, though, so I need to bring this up to Galen and everyone at GTPeace, see if it's an issue. Let me show you. All right, so when I was putting the decal on, I noticed in here, you see in there, there's a bolt missing right there. So they're all around the supercharger lid, but that's the only one that's missing. So I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but I'm gonna bring that to their attention to see if maybe they can put one in there. So, all right. Well, so you remember when I said we're gonna get back to the supercharger pulley? Well, yeah, there's a good reason why we're gonna get back to it. It's a big issue. All right, so yeah, 2.175, right? That's I did, what is it? I did 9.45 lower crank pulley, and so I believe the stock size is 8, so it went up by like 1.5 inches, and then the stock size I believe up here is 2.5, and I went down to 2.175, right? And that's based off of what I read on the forums. So let me explain to you what the big issue is. The setup that I have right now is for maximum power, right? So this is like for the builds that are going to be like over 1,000 horsepower. That's great. I'm not over 1,000 horsepower yet, and that's the issue. I learn as I go, and I've told you guys this so many times. I'm not a genius when it comes to these vehicles and stuff. You know, I try to do as much research as possible, but there's a lot of stuff that you're missing on forums, right? Like people assume you either know what you're looking for, so I didn't post up a question, but I'm just saying I was reading through like the threads and stuff like that, and so they speak to, their responses are like based off of if the person probably knows what they're referring to and whatnot, so they skip a lot of parts in their replies. That's what I'm getting at. So everyone said, yeah, go with the 2.175 upper, 9.45 lower. You're gonna make ridiculous power. Okay, that's cool. That's accurate. That's true. I now finally understand. Thanks to More Automotive and GTPeace, they really broke it down and explained to me. It's a big issue of, let me pause this because a lot of kids are coming by real quick. It's gonna get loud. Nah, the kids were cool, so they said nice car. Anyways, getting back to this. Okay, so maximum power out of the setup, right? Okay, well, I just learned about fuel delivery and why it is critical. It is absolutely critical. You know, air fuel ratio, mixtures, all that, tuning and stuff like that, right? That meant nothing to me. It just, I knew to say that when someone's talking about tuning, but I didn't really understand the concept behind it. Now I do, and I wish I would have known this a long time ago. Nowhere on the forums did I find that you should run, if you're on like pump gas 93 and you don't have upgraded fuel delivery or anything, you should not go with the setup that I have gone with. Okay, so I didn't see that, and if it's somewhere there, then I'm sorry, I couldn't find it. Fuel is the issue. Fuel is the critical issue here. Okay, so apparently with this setup, the 2.175 upper, 9.45 lower, and the upgraded intake, right, and the porting and all that, and the ported service and everything, I'm going to be running 18 PSI. On the supercharger, you cannot regulate that like you can on a turbocharged system, right? You can decrease, boost, you know, increase it, whatever. This is what it would be at, 18 PSI. My stock fuel delivery system, stock fuel pump and everything, and my direct injection, it's only going to handle up to like 15 PSI. Okay, it can't handle more. It's not going to be able to keep up. And that's the problem. It's going to starve the engine of fuel, and it's going to lean out. Anybody who knows about vehicles, you don't ever want to talk about leaning out, because you're leaning out, then you're going to blow the motor. And for that matter, you can't even get the vehicle tuned. It can't go on the dyno because halfway into the first pull, they would have to completely stop. So that's horrible. That's a horrible situation to be in. So they were like, hey, are you going to cam this thing? I was like, yeah, I mean, later. I didn't know. And they were like, yeah, dude, so you should have cammed this thing before you did this. And that's where the steps come into play. I didn't know that. I didn't know this is what I just did right now is part of a bigger project. And there were steps that should have been done before I did this. I didn't know that. And so one of them would have been camshafts, right? And it had to do with like the lobe or something like that they were talking about, and that plays a part, an integral part with like fuel delivery. So that's one. Okay, so now let me, what's the next part? Oh, I know the next part. They were like, hey, you might want to look into like the ZR1 port injection, right? So it's like port injection on top of direct injection. So it's like 16 injectors basically in your vehicle. And so that would give you a hell of a lot more fuel delivery, right? So the problem is that the vehicle right now would be making more power than what my fuel delivery system can keep up with. And so that's obviously a big issue. So I was like, well, what are we gonna do? You know, like I'm telling you right now, okay, just like for example, looking at the Weapon X upgraded like port injection fuel delivery system that they offer and stuff like that, right? It was $6,800. $6,800. And you could like option out a couple things, and then on top of that, imagine the labor. So that's insane. I don't have that right now. I might have that in the future, but I don't have that right now. Not with everything I just did. Okay, so that's that, right? Okay, and then you could say like, oh, why don't you do camshafts? All right, well, we just put it all back together, man. Like we'd have to completely take it apart again, take out the motor entirely, sit it next to the vehicle, and then swap out the cams to do that. So that's a big job. Obviously, cams are like what, $5-6 grand easily, you know, for that's including labor and everything. So those are expensive options. Luckily, Paul over at More Automotive suggested, he was like, hey, look, dude, what kind of upper pulley do you have? And I was like, it's the ZPE 2.175 or whatever. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'm familiar with that one. And he said, okay, so it's bolted to their hub, right? It's not just pressed on. And I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, the hub's pressed on and then it bolts to their hub. It's a 10 bolt. And he was like, okay, cool. Go ahead and order yourself up a 2.5. And so he was like, you're going to go back to stock size and we can get away with that. He was like, we can tune that. He was like, it's like borderline, you know, like up there. But he was like, we're not in the red. So he was like, that'll be good. We can do our pulls. We can get your car running right and everything. And he was like, so that would be the best bet right now. So I ordered up the 2.5 from ZPE directly. I called them up. Super amazing customer service, by the way. If you guys need to order up stuff, don't be afraid to hit the ZPE up directly. I forget the lady's name, but she was the sweetest lady in the world. And everything shipped out. Like literally, I hung up the phone. 25 minutes later, I got the emails in saying like, hey, it's shipping. So that's awesome. And they're in California. What was yesterday? No, it was Friday. Friday I ordered it. Yeah, because yesterday was Saturday, today Sunday. So Friday I ordered it. It's arriving. It says between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Tuesday. So I mean that's pretty good fast shipping. But anyways, okay. So back to what I'm saying. 2.5 and the 9.45 lower, you're fine. I'll be within the boost range for the stock fuel delivery system. And it'll be all right. So just keep that in mind. If you aren't going to upgrade your fuel delivery, then you can only go so, I was going to say you can only go so big with the pulleys, but that would be referring to the lower pulley. And then you can only go so small with the upper pulley. Okay. So just keep that in mind. You need to understand that. So you can upgrade like one or the other. They were saying basically you could have left the stock crank pulley and then gone to a 2.175 and you would have been fine, upper. Or you could have left the stock 2.5 upper and gone with this lower, the 9.45 lower crank pulley. So it's one or the other. You can't do both. And so luckily, ZPE offers a direct bolt-on that's a 2.5, right? So we don't have to take it completely off and then use the factory 2.5 upper pulley and then have to press it on, because that's a pain. So I don't know how much easier it is, but I figure, you know, I see the bolts there, right? Like you unbolt it or whatever, you put the other one on, and then you slide the belt back on. I don't know what the belt process is like. I don't even know if that belt will work, because this is a different belt. This is not the stock belt. But Galen said that any belt roughly has about like 20 millimeters of play. And so if we're going from 2.175 to 2.5, maybe the belt that I have on it now will work, because it was difficult to also find the correct belt size. So The problem with that is obviously you'll get belt slippage easily if you miscalculate that. And so I've been on Google all day, and I can't find the correct belt size for that. So hopefully this belt works. If this belt works, fantastic. If not, more we'll probably have to like measure one out and order one up, you know. So I don't know, that's the worst case scenario. So hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, the belt that I have on now will work. And so yeah, so that's where we're at. That's the big issue. I won't be able to drive the vehicle, and I won't be able to get it tuned with the current setup right now. So luckily, and this is all thanks to Paul. Okay, this is all thanks to, well, Paul and Chris and everybody at More Automotive, because they always ask you, which I assume most tuners would do, but Moore's really smart. They were like, hey, tell me exactly what parts you have and give me like the dimensions and everything. They need to know exactly. And so, you know, I sometimes I'm like, I think it's like this, and then I'm like, I think it's this much too, and they're like, all right, so that's fine. But they're making calculations, and I didn't know that. I didn't really know that's what it was based off of, that they're doing calculations based off of what I'm telling them. And so I was giving them incorrect information. So can you see how that would be an issue? If I give them incorrect information, and for whatever reason, if they didn't verify that, which it's not their, you know, they're going based off of what I'm saying, let's say, and then they tune or whatever, and like the whole car blows up or whatever, that's on me. That's my fault. I was an idiot. I should have known exactly what size my parts were and everything, right? So I gave them the information, and I was like, oh wait, I told them it was a 2.5 upper, right? And so Paul was okay with that. I was like, it's a I didn't say 2.5. I said, what did I say? I said like 3.1 or something, because instead of a 2.1, I was saying 3.1. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're straight, blah, blah. And so then I called him back. And so I was saying, incorrect information was given to you. It's not a 3.1, it's a 2.175. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he called me back within like 20 minutes. And so he must have spoken. You know, he must have talked it over with his team. And so he was like, hey, we did the math. And I say they've done the math because of the fact that so many C7s and C6s and stuff go to Moore, and they get tuned there. So I mean, they know this vehicle like inside and out at this point. And so they were like, hey, that's not gonna work. The 2.1 upper and the 9.45 lower. And then they told me the issue, which is exactly what I just told you guys. And so I'm so happy they know their stuff, because otherwise, you know, the car could have been in real big trouble if they tried to do pulls on it and then, heaven forbid, boom, right? So anyways, all right, so we're going to remedy the situation. 2.5 is on its way. It's going to be here, I guess, in 2 days. And then I'm going to take it to GTPeace. Galen's going to see if he can squeeze me in. He's going to talk to Darren. Darren's going to hate me. Darren, if you see this video, man, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so happy. Like, you're always working on my car, but I know you hate me because the car keeps coming back to you. But yeah, they're going to see if they can swap it real quick, you know, at some point, maybe at the end of the day or something. And then hopefully the car runs just fine and stuff. I assume it would. And so with that, then that way I can take it to Moore, because we pushed Moore's date back by 1, because I told Paul, I was like, hey, Paul, I'm going to get a 2.5 upper, and then can you guys just go ahead and install it and then tune it? And so he was like, yeah, no problem. So we'll probably start taking it apart Tuesday night, which would be March 7th, and then we'll do your tune March 8th, right? Because he was like, I had someone scheduled after you on the 7th, and so now, since we're going to need a whole day, I'd rather just have you bring it in on the 7th. You know, before we close up shop, we'll probably start already taking things apart, and then that way we'll probably be good to go early morning, and then that way the rest of the day we can just tune it. And so I'm going to let them know if we end up already swapping out the pulley on our own over at GTPeace. Then now I can call and be like, hey, that's one less thing that you guys have to worry about, so I'm just going to drop it off Tuesday anyways, and then that way you guys already have it there for bright and early for Wednesday, and Wednesday they can just... So everything you read on the forums, take it with a grain of salt, right? It could be accurate, it could be inaccurate, it could be false, it could be true, but most importantly, the whole story is usually not there. And that's what I just learned. The whole story is not there. So the vehicle, maybe at some point in the future, yes, it will be canned. I would love to do that. We're starting to get into the territory where now I'm learning just how expensive it is to make over 1,000 horsepower on this thing. Like, it's not just a simple process of just bolt-ons, right? And that's what I assumed. And so the problem is that, do you want to keep dumping money into the vehicle at that point, or do I want to get a C8, right? I would love to eventually get a C8. It doesn't mean I want to sell this car. I don't want to sell a car. So I would like to have a C8 along with this thing. I also need a garage, which would mean I also need a townhouse. So there's I'm way like ahead of myself right now with everything I'm saying and stuff like that. But point being, do I really want to keep dumping money into the vehicle and keep upgrading it and upgrading it if I'm, one, not going to use all that power ever, and then two, like if I'm going to eventually get a C8, do I need this thing to be like over 1,000 horsepower and stuff? Okay, cool. But then if I have a C8, I'm gonna start wanting to drive that all the time, and then this thing's just gonna be sitting there and stuff. So you get what I'm saying? It's very much like it's a personal issue. I'm gonna install the upper pulley, and then I will start the next video with that, with the new upper pulley being installed, and then go into more automotive to get it tuned. So it'll be the tuning video, but I'll start it with the upper pulley being installed, or installed for that matter, whatever. Because I need to offload all these segments right here, whatever the memory is like consumed on my phone. So, all right, finally showed everything wanted to show to you guys. All right, so you like that video, go ahead and click that like button, hit subscribe. I have a whole bunch of content that I've got plans for what I want to do and stuff. There's a whole bunch of shows already. I need to figure out if I have time to do all that stuff, and if I have time soon. I hate with so much gaps between my videos right now. It's just life has been hectic recently, and so it's not getting any I'm not getting any more time back right now. It's pretty hectic. So yeah, we'll see when's the next time I upload the video. Hopefully it's soon. But anyways, all right, so stay tuned. See ya.